Emergency calls for the same people down and out at the same place over and over again cost Albuquerque hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. Those people are chronic homeless alcoholics. Police Chief Ray Schultz, who has been looking for ways to help them and cut the cost, thought he had found someone who could be the role model for a solution. But as Tim Maestas reports in tonight's special assignment, her chance at redemption ended before it started.
One woman, many different faces, sometimes happy, sometimes sad, sometimes something in between. Brenda Sullivan had it bad from the beginning.
She left home at age 15. She had a difficult upbringing.
Jody Jepson works as a crisis specialist with the Albuquerque Police Department, driving and walking the streets, trying to track down and help the city's most at-risk and vulnerable homeless.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Jody is friendly with everyone, but she and Brenda Sullivan were especially close.
I think back of, are there things that we could have done differently?
Brenda's story is especially frustrating for Jody and the Albuquerque Police Department. Jody was just 4 days away from placing Brenda into an apartment. But then police were called to this Red Roof Inn. Brenda was inside one of the rooms here. Someone had beaten her to death. It was December 15th. Police arrested a suspect 2 days later.
I was sad and I was angry.
Chief Ray Schultz knew Brenda too, not because of her many arrests on minor offenses like drinking in public and obstructing traffic, but because he was also trying to help her. APD had been working with Brenda since 2007.
Brenda is one of those people that we kind of wanted to use as a test case. Let's take Brenda and see if we can get her to work through the system. Identify where those holes and gaps are, and then correct them and fill them.
Chief Schultz says Brenda's story is proof that getting Albuquerque's homeless off the streets is tough. The chief says there are just too many holes to fall through. Yes, the city has day shelters and overnight shelters to help the homeless, but when it comes to actual treatment, different treatment providers have different policies. For instance, some treatment programs will not accept people facing criminal charges, even minor offenses.
Some services you have to be intoxicated in order to get the services. And when you're intoxicated, you don't want those services.
Brenda was an alcoholic. The chief says she tried to stay clean, but when things got rough, she'd hit the bottle. How frequently would you check on her?
If I didn't hear from her, probably twice a week. Hello?
Jepson showed us where Brenda spent much of her time, huddled in the crawl space beneath the Carlisle I-40 overpass.
This was where Brenda would stay.
Jepson and Chief Schultz were optimistic about getting Brenda off the streets.
She told us that she knew, unless she got help, that something bad was going to happen to her.
For the chief, helping the homeless is not just about saving lives, it's finding a solution to a persistent problem. Responding to reports of people like Brenda, drunk in public, takes up lots of resources and lots of money.
We're spending thousands of dollars each and every day dealing with the same people time and time again. Hopefully Brenda Sullivan will be kind of a wake-up call to New Mexico that we need to do more. We just can't continue to drive by these folks.
Tim Maestas, KRQE News 13.
The chief says weak laws are another obstacle to getting people like Brenda Sullivan off the streets. For instance, Albuquerque police cannot charge people for being drunk in public. That charge is allowed in other cities like San Diego, where judges can order jail time or mandatory treatment. The chief says Albuquerque does spend thousands of dollars every day handling public drunkenness calls.